graduating boot camp was a pretty accomplishment that I don't
Hmm.
think a lot of people understand. It's almost like graduating high school.
Yeah.
You get that. For us, it was you get that Navy ball cap,
Hmm.
and once you get that Navy ball cap, your chest is just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel you have a little bit more pride.
Yeah.
But then you ship off to AIT.
Yeah.
How was that for you? You're going through airborne school. This is the top of the top. This is the
Mm.
cream of the crop.
Well,
How was it for
yeah.
you?
Well, first it's basic training, and then
Mm,
you go to AIT. So depending on your MOS, either you'll stay in Fort Benning, right? So in my case, I was 11 Bravo.
mm,
We stayed, kept the same drill sergeants, so we didn't go anywhere. So it was just we finished the first phase was basic training, and then all of a sudden we did a little ceremony. We're considered a U.S. Army soldier, right? So that is the first stepping stone. Now it transitions to AIT, where basically for 11 Bravos, you're focusing more on your job aspect, right? You're
mm.
learning how to do tactics. The tactics are increased. You're learning how to shoot. You're going in the shooting range a lot more. Um, you're doing a lot more training in the field, instead of in the barracks. So that is the second stepping stone is just focusing on your job and learning new skills, stuff that you're gonna use once AIT is done. You're gonna go to your unit. You're gonna use that and build upon it, depending on where you're stationed at. So AIT was relatively the same, just more learning more new skills. You're still getting smoked, so that's nothing changes. Still the perception, the personality, as far as okay, yes, we are a U.S. Army soldier, but we're still privates.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what they
yeah.
refer to as privates. So, but it was the same thing.
Mm,
From there, once you graduate AIT, that's when either A, if you don't have an airborne contract or ranger contract or special forces contract, you'll go automatically you'll get your documents, your packet, and you'll go ship out to your duty station. Or if for my case, since I had an airborne school, I literally hop on the bus, some airborne uh, instructor would come
mm,
and he would pick us up and he would take us a couple blocks down the hall from Fort Benning, and then here you go, we're in airborne school now. So
mm.
yes, airborne school was, I believe it was a month long. So it was definitely a lot better circumstances in airborne school. You had a lot more freedom,
There's
you
no way
know.
you're gonna tell me it's a lot better jumping out of planes.
Jumping out of planes, no, because I was afraid of falling. They say there's a difference between afraid of heights and afraid of falling,
Mm.
right? So I was afraid of falling. I figured that one out. I was afraid of falling.
Explain.
So this is what the airborne instructor had mentioned because he said, "Hey, you're either two things: afraid of heights or afraid of falling, and you guys will figure it out once you're there in the airplane." Ultimately, when I jumped out the first time out of the airplane, I was not in a good position mentally. But I didn't want to be that guy because you would see you know some of your buddies jumping out, coming back, and you're up next essentially to jump, and you're like, wow, if they did it, I could do it too. Or if the females did it, I could do it too. I don't want to be that guy. I don't care if I'm afraid. I'm gonna go and do it because I just don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So that was basically the main factor that kind of like guided me to actually accomplish my fear.
Mm.
But yes, afraid of falling was definitely what impacted me, and then it's just having that anxiousness of just falling. You're just like, oh wow, is my chute gonna open up? Which it did. It did.
Yeah.
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 So it was definitely an experience.
Man, that's you're better than me. Okay, I'll tell you right now. I was
Yeah.
afraid to jump off the platform to jump in the water to swim where we needed to. It was like
Yeah.
Olympic sized pool. Jump off the platform and swim all. That was tough for me. So I'm afraid
Yeah.
of heights, and I'm
Yeah.
probably afraid of falling, and I'm
Yeah.
afraid of the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, so walk me through your first jump. I mean,
The first jump was like I said, it was very full of anxiousness. Everybody's all rigged up. Well, it was actually a Hollywood jump. So basically, it's just simple parachute, right? You have one in the back, and then one in the front. Your emergency, right? So it's you're not suited and booted. You're just it's simple Hollywood, get on the airplane. So it's obviously a process. Before you even get on the airplane, it's a process. The airborne instructors look at you, make sure everything's all rigged up accordingly, and you'll literally sit there for hours just to wait and get on the airplane, which only takes like a couple minutes. You get on the airplane, you get up to a certain altitude, and then you jump out, and then that's it.
So you're sitting there waiting. Where
Yeah.
are you waiting? And this is some type of holding.
Yes, you're just basically waiting for the Air Force pilots to get everything situated. There's probably like 300 airbornees,
Okay.
if you want to call that. But you're just waiting, sit and wait, sit and wait. That's
Hurry up and wait. That's
Yeah,
military's mantra.
yeah,
As always. I
yeah.
mean, that goes across all branches. So,
Yes, yep,
so now you're sitting and waiting, and now I know you guys are talking amongst each other,
oh, yeah,
and some of these guys are already jumped. And
yeah.
were they giving you advice? Were they?
Yes. So as we're sitting and waiting, we're all rigged up, and we're just kind of like quiet. It's just in your head. You're just like, oh, I'm anxious. I'm nervous. What's gonna happen? What if this doesn't? What if my parachute doesn't open up? How is it gonna? Is it gonna hurt when I fall? Because they say you land like a sack of potatoes.
Um,
It's not like a soft landing like normally what you see. But a lot of questions just start running through your head, and then when you see that first wave that just comes back, they're all excited, they got the adrenaline rush, and they're like, oh yeah, it was fun. So that kind of made it a lot easier. Like, okay, if they did it, I could do it.
mm,
Like I said, I was afraid of falling, but I'm not gonna be that guy where I just be like, oh, I'm not doing it, airborne, I'm not doing it.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
airborne, I'm not doing it. So ultimately it was a good experience.
So you go up. Now you're up.
Yep, yep.
Now you're flying.
Uh-huh.
How long does it take before they open the back and say, "Hey, it's time to go"?
Not that long.
Not that
It
long.
doesn't take that long. Everything's a process.
Yeah.
Once they open up that door, you're looking at the airborne. You're looking at airborne, and just like, okay, here you go. Here's the static line. It looks at you. All right, here you go. Boom, pass it off, and then just exit out.
And you,
And you just exit out the airplane. A perfectly good flying airplane. Nothing wrong with it, right? You're just jumping out, right? Um, and it is an experience. It's an experience.
so take me down that fall.
Jumping out, my first jump, uh, like I said, it was relatively scary at first, but once you're jumping out the airplane, parachute opens up accordingly, everything's going smooth, and you're like, okay, I'm up, I'm descending slowly, and you're just like, you know what?